those were formidable years for me, signature years to be in Chicago, to be drafted into the NFL, and then play for the legendary Iron Mike Ditka. It doesn't get any better than that. And spent 7 years, a lot of great years, a lot of great games, high highs. Doesn't get any better than this kind of feeling. And and some of life's big disappointments. I mean, there's a couple in there that are top 5 in my life. But that's football. That's life. So, but I look back on that. What did it mean to me? The shape of the rest of my life. What the Chicago Bears organization and the people I met there and Coach Ditka did for me. I mean, enormous. I don't know a percentage to put on it, but as I can say, those were signature years for me.
Just as far as my perspective on it, when you're a brother and you're watching your brother compete at that level, I got a video. Morgan Cox showed me a video that one of his brother's buddies took of his brother while Morgan was snapping the ball for the winning field goal against Denver in period 6 there up in Denver at Mile High. And his brother didn't know he was being videoed and was just a nervous wreck, contorting himself in every kind of direction you could imagine until that ball went through the uprights and then celebrating like crazy. And it brought back memories for me. And I can remember just living and dying along with our parents and Joni with every single snap that Jim ever took as an NFL football player, whether it was Chicago or Indianapolis or all the other places he was at. That's how it is when you're family. I mean, when you watch your family member play, man, I think you're more nervous than they are by far. And that's how I always felt. And I always was just completely and enormously proud of what he was doing as a player and how he was competing. And even in the moments you just mentioned, I think the greatest moment for me through that whole thing was maybe a couple of years later, I gained so much respect for Coach Ditka, and I don't really know Coach that well, other than just admiring him and knowing what Jim says about him. But when he came out and said that was the wrong thing, when he said he didn't handle it the right way, and probably ended up, kind of costing his team a little bit there. Man, as a coach, you learn so much, and hearing another coach talk about something like that, and then the way Jim handled that moment, just like a man, the way he was just rock solid, and just came back and kept competing and was respectful of that, even in a situation that really wasn't all that fair. I learned a lot at the time, and I would think a lot of players would have too if they understand how he handled that situation.